Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official Brave and Bold 2021 fantasy football predictions. 26 total predictions. Originally it was 25. I added one on, guys, and I quickly want to talk about my 26 bold prediction that I just thought of right now when it comes to fantasy football's future, the format of it. Guys, I think the future of fantasy football is 2 quarterback leagues. I'll be the first person to say, if you're in a 1 quarterback league, 12-teamer, 14-teamer, 16-teamer, don't draft quarterbacks early. But obviously that, when you compare it to actual football, it's the complete opposite. Quarterbacks are so important, when it comes to the NFL. But in fantasy football, quarterbacks are meaningless. You can draft one 7th, 8th, 9th round. It's all about the running backs. We do 2 quarterback leagues where you have to draft 2 quarterbacks. The roster is 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a flex, and a tight end. I don't like super flex leagues. But the future of fantasy football, if you want to make quarterbacks meaningful, a 10-team league, that would mean 20 quarterbacks starting. You could do a 12-team league, and there'd be 24 total starting quarterbacks. Obviously, there are only 30 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, so it kind of limits it. But you could even do a 14-team league with 28 total starting quarterbacks. I just think 2 quarterback leagues are the future of fantasy football. And guys, if you're interested in doing a 2 quarterback league with me, I've got my major draft coming up on Wednesday night with my fans in a 12-team league. But I am interested in doing a 2 quarterback league. Again, the roster is completely the same as a standard league, but it's just 1 extra quarterback, and it emphasizes drafting quarterbacks early. It's more realistic. And you can't have like a 16-team league because, that'd be 32 total quarterbacks starting. But like 10-team leagues, 12-team leagues, 100%. I'm looking to do a 10-team league. But guys, my 26 prediction, the future of fantasy football is 2 quarterback leagues. You heard it here first. Let's get to the actual predictions. Number 25, Dallas Goedert finishes as a top 5 tight end. He's a man crush of mine, guys. I have a lot of man crushes, I'll be honest. I just think Dallas Goedert is a beast. You look at him at the tight end position. I know they still have Zach Ertz, I understand. But I think Dallas Goedert's taking over, and he's due for a breakout year. I can feel a 10-touchdown year from Dallas Goedert. You're looking for a tight end. Maybe you don't want to invest a 3rd or a 4th round pick, even a 2nd round pick in a guy like Darren Waller, Travis Kelce. I've seen Darren Waller go mid-2nd round. It's pretty crazy. Get a guy like Dallas Goedert later. It's really great value, guys. I love Dallas Goedert this year. Number 24, Devontae Smith is a top 15 wide receiver over the last 10 weeks. I don't know if he's going to be a top 15 receiver, but the point of it is Devontae Smith over the second half of the season is going to be a solid wide receiver too. And obviously he's being drafted very late. He's a rookie. The one thing I'll say about Devontae Smith, I haven't seen a player take over college football like Devontae Smith did last year. It was one of the most historic things I've ever seen in my life. I'm an Ohio State fan, and this dude had 225 yards in 1 half against Ohio State. It was unbelievable. It was like Joe Burrow's 2019 year, where it's just like you're playing on, NCAA football 2014 on recruit mode, on easy difficulty. Like, you could have 600 yards in a game. It was absurd. I've never seen anything like Devontae Smith. How good are the Eagles are building something right now, folks? It's crazy. Please draft Devontae Smith. Great value late in your draft, especially second half of the year with a rookie. Phenomenal. Number 23, Saquon Barkley outscores Dalvin Cook. Nothing against Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a fine year. He's currently going 2nd in many drafts. Saquon Barkley originally was slotted in that 3rd or 4th spot. He's been falling to 8, 9, or 10. If Saquon Barkley has a healthy year with his pass-catching ability, guys, full PPR, I'm talking 1-point PPR leagues, I think Saquon Barkley, due to his pass-catching upside and the fact that he's going to be that clear number 1 back in that offense, he's going to at least get 20 to 25 touches a game. I think he will outscore Dalvin Cook. Nothing against Dalvin Cook. He's phenomenal. If you pick Dalvin Cook with the 2nd or 3rd overall pick, I'm not going to argue with you there. Now, obviously, I think McCaffrey's better than Dalvin Cook. But the point of it is, guys, I love Saquon Barkley this year. I'm seeing him fall to 8th, 9th, 10th in many of these drafts phenomenal value. I know he has that injury concern, but sometimes you just got to take the risk and understand this Saquon Barkley, I've said it before, most talented running back in the NFL. Moving on to number 22, Trey Sherman is a steal, starts by week 6. You know, I was watching Raheem Mostert yesterday, and he is impressive. But we know he has some injury concerns. He got injured last year. I love the late value for Trey Sherman. Maybe you go, 2 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds. You're hurting on running backs. Trey Sherman's going to give you some great value once you get to week 5 or week 6. You're not going to want to start him the first few weeks. He's more of a stash guy. But he's a guy that you're probably not going to have to wait until week 10 or week 11. I understand he's a rookie, but I absolutely love Trey Sherman, especially if Trey Lance gets really integrated into that offense. It's going to make it easier on a guy like Trey Sherman. Trey Lance has a lot of running ability. Defenders are going to have to focus on him. I love Trey Sherman as a steal and a potential really great running back asset later in the season. Number 21, another man crush of mine. Tyler Higbee finishes as a top 6 tight end. I'm buying the Matt Stafford hype with Sean McVay. Stafford's really good. I think him and Higbee are going to have a phenomenal connection. I got that 3-touchdown game Tyler Higbee had last year against the Eagles stuck in my head. He looked like Gronk. It was crazy. Tyler Higbee's a beast. It is a man crush of mine. But if you're looking for a late round tight end, Goddard's gone. Some of the mid round tight ends are gone. Maybe Mike Gesicki's gone. Tyler Higbee, great value. Pick him up late. Guys, we are moving on to number 20. Cooper Kupp outscores Robert Woods comfortably. And I think the key word there is comfortably because, these are 2 guys very comparable. I just think this is Cooper Kupp's year. Robert Woods, I know he's due for more touchdowns. He really hasn't gotten in the end zone much, so maybe there could be some positive regression there. I just think Matt Stafford's going to have a real connection with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp a little bit more of a possession receiver. They are very similar receivers, but I have been seeing Robert Woods go about 8 or 9 spots in front of Cooper Kupp. When it comes to overall value, I'll take Cooper Kupp over Robert Woods. You can get him a little bit later in the drafts too. Number 19, CeeDee Lamb over Amari Cooper. A lot of people have this take. I am all in on the CeeDee Lamb hype. If you can get CeeDee Lamb mid-3rd round, that is phenomenal value. There has been, I will say there's been a lot of hype. I've been seeing people take CeeDee Lamb start of the 3rd round, late 2nd round. That's a little steep for me, but I will say draft him over Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper, very inconsistent. I believe he had like a 40-point game last year that really boosted his stats, kind of like Tyler Lockett had that 50-point game, and other than that, he didn't do anything. So, guys, I'll take CeeDee Lamb over Amari Cooper. Not to say Amari Cooper is going to be terrible, but where he's going right now, I am not picking him. He's currently going too high for me. Number 18, Derrick Henry gets injured midseason, so I don't like predicting injuries, but we do have to talk about kind of the elephant in the room with Derrick Henry, and that is his absurd workload he's gotten. It's been crazy over the past 2 years, and it worries me a little bit. Now, you can't predict injuries. If Derrick Henry is there at pick 10 or 11, that's really good value. I understand that. But the things you have to understand with Derrick Henry, very little value in the passing game if you're playing full-point PPR, so that is annoying. And then also, heavy work. I don't like predicting injuries. I hope Derrick Henry doesn't get injured, but I'm just saying, guys, be careful. That's a heavy workload. Last 2 years, he's been getting run into the ground. We know with these running backs, it's concerning. Moving on to number 17, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a must-start by week 10. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think the Lions are going to be losing a lot of games, a lot of garbage time chances for Amon-Ra St. Brown, former 5-star recruit out of high school, played pretty well at USC last year. He's my guy, and I think he was a 6th-round pick by the Lions. I think they just cut Brashard Perryman, which I am absolutely nothing against Brashard Perryman, but as it pertains to Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys, you're in a 12-team league, you're in a 14-team league, you're looking those last rounds. Draft a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's going to be a must-start by week 10. You hold on to him. Maybe even pick him up in a 10-team league. You target him week 5 or week 6. He's going to be a must-start wide receiver too. Definitely, Moving on, DeAndre Swift is the king of garbage time. So this kind of goes with, the Lions theme. They're going to be losing a lot of games. DeAndre Swift is really good out of the backfield. I know people are concerned with Jamal Williams, but I think they're going to give DeAndre Swift enough touches to facilitate him as a solid RB2. Again, you're playing full-point PPR. They're going to be losing a lot of games. Jared Goff, he's a guy that likes to check down. Even with Sean McVay, he kind of tended to check down. I think he's going to do it even more this year. DeAndre Swift, they're down 14 points. You go on a drive late, maybe you get 4 or 5 catches underneath, the running back. I think DeAndre Swift's going to get a lot of garbage time fantasy points for you. He's a solid RB2 currently. I would draft him early 3rd round at this point. Moving on to number 15, Gus Edwards and James Robinson get overvalued. So we obviously know about the disappointing and very tough injury to J.K. Dobbins. That opens the door up for Gus Edwards. He's going to be going a lot higher in drafts. People are going to be very high on him. But I just think him and James Robinson, obviously with the Travis Etienne injury, he's also out for the year, a little bit overvalued. I'm going to stay away from them personally unless I could get Gus Edwards maybe late, but I don't think I will be able to. I think he's going to start going 3rd or 4th round. Same thing with James Robinson. They are going to be the starters, but these are guys I'm not very high on. I think they get overvalued due to the injuries to their teammates, and I'm just not interested in drafting them with their newfound high value. Moving on to number 14, both Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance are steals. Both dual threat guys. I know Trey Lance is a rookie, but guys, like I always say, this goes back to my first point where I think we need 2 quarterback leagues as the new format. Quarterbacks are just there's no value in drafting one of them early. I'd rather spend that 3rd or 4th round pick on a running back than Patrick Mahomes because you could get quarterbacks late. Look at Justin Herbert last year. I mean, there's so many examples of it. You can find guys 7th, 8th, 9th round, pick someone off the waiver wire, and he could give you 25 points. It's so much easier to mix and match quarterbacks through the course of the season than invest a high 3rd or 4th round pick into one of them when you could be getting a potential RB1 or wide receiver 1 in those early rounds, guys. So I think Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance are going to be phenomenal. Jalen Hurts, I would draft late. Trey Lance, you could probably get off the waiver wire in 10-team league, or you could definitely probably get him off the waiver wire in 10-team, 12-team leagues. Draft him late in 14-team leagues. Moving on to number 13, Mike Evans is a dud. I think Chris Godwin is just the better receiver, better possession receiver, better target. I've had a weird thing with Mike Evans where I never draft him in any of my drafts. Just not the type of receiver I like. He seems to be very streaky. I'm out on Mike Evans this year. I don't think he's going to be very good. Stay away from him no matter what. Number 12, Miles Sanders doesn't live up to his draft position. Kenneth Gainwell, yes, I'm very high on the rookie Kenneth Gainwell. Miles Sanders, you still got Boston Scott there. Just not really big into Miles Sanders this year when it comes to that kind of second-tier group of running backs, like with a Najee Harris type, those type of running backs. Not big into Miles Sanders. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Philadelphia. Again, Boston Scott's there. Kenneth Gainwell. Guys, maybe Kenneth Gainwell, you're in a 14-team league, you're in a 12-team league, last picks. Maybe someone like Kenneth Gainwell. I'd look for that rookie. He had a phenomenal preseason. I'm very high on him, especially if you're in like a 14-team league where you need running backs, you need assets. I would look for someone like him. Moving on to number 11, Joe Mixon becomes an RB1. I like the Bengals offense. I really do. I love Jamar Chase. I know he has drop issues. It doesn't concern me at all. He's a beast. I watched him at LSU. I know how good he can be. He has some drop problems right now. I understand it's preseason, whatever. But Joe Mixon, I think, with his pass catching ability, the Bengals are going to score more points. With Burrow, they have 3 good receivers. Again, with him, it's a lot to do with health. With Joe, it's a lot to do with health. Hopefully, he stays healthy. If he does, I see a very good year out of Joe Mixon. Moving on to the top 10, we know this one. Antonio Gibson is a complete bust, droppable by week 7. I have been saying this since June. Please, a PSA message to everyone. Do not draft Antonio Gibson. He will be a complete bust in that Washington offense. He's already going to get his pass catching, capabilities hindered by J.D. McKissick. Absolutely hate Antonio Gibson this year. He's the one I am not drafting him anywhere. Antonio Gibson, people are spending 15th, 16th overall picks on Antonio Gibson. They're taking him in front of guys like Joe Mixon. It's crazy. Please, guys, I beg you. I've said this from the beginning. He's a bust. He's this year's Kenyon Drake. Moving on to number 9, Javonte Williams is the starter in Denver by week number 7. Yes, Javonte Williams is an interesting guy because it's like you have to invest a high, 5th or 6th round pick into a guy that's not starting. We know Melvin Gordon's going to really share those reps with Javonte Williams early in the season, but I do think he will take over the backfield. I don't know about spending a 6th round or a 5th round pick on him where he's kind of going in these drafts, but if you do, I would wait. I wouldn't start him week 1, but, that investment will become worthwhile. I loved him at North Carolina. I also liked Michael Carter, but Javonte Williams, I think, starts in Denver by week 6 or week 7 and becomes kind of a low-end RB1 at that point. Number 8, Corey Davis is overhyped. I've been seeing a lot of people hype up Corey Davis. I'm just personally not buying it. I know he's going late in most drafts, so it's not that big of a deal, but I have seen a few people pick him in the 7th or 8th round. I just think that's way too high. He has a rookie quarterback. Let's remember that. I know he's a big-bodied guy, former 5th overall pick. I just don't like Corey Davis this year. I'm not drafting him. I think he's a little bit overhyped according to the experts. Number 7, Clyde Edwards-Helaire scores 12 total touchdowns. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire finds the end zone a lot in that Kansas City offense. I know there was a little bit of issues last year with them not giving him the ball on first and goal-to-go situations. I think that changes. Maybe he gets a few passing scores, but it's just such a good offense, and he is the clear-cut RB1 in that offense. I know people are a little bit concerned about drafting him. He's definitely a running back. I wouldn't hesitate in drafting 2nd round if you need an RB1. Maybe you draft a receiver in the 1st round. You got to pick these running backs early. We need to get the running backs early. There's not a lot of depth there. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, someone that I would be interested in. Number 6, Kareem Hunt is a waste of a draft pick. Kareem Hunt, let me first say, Kareem Hunt's a beast. But guys, Nick Chubb is there. People are spending 5th, 6th round picks on him. I just don't understand it. You're going to start Kareem Hunt, as your RB2 when he's potentially could only get 8 touches in a game. He's the backup. People are just picking Kareem Hunt way too high. Nick Chubb is the starter. If he doesn't get injured, Kareem Hunt's value is going to be very minimal. He's going too high in drafts. Now, if he's going in the 8th or 9th round, I would understand it. But he's going in the 5th, 6th round in many of these drafts. It's crazy to me. A little bit too high of value. Moving on to number 5, Russell Gage offers great value. PPR. God, I love Russell Gage, man. He's another man crush of mine. I just think they do have Calvin Ridley there. I think Calvin Ridley's going to have a very good year. Matt Ryan, good quarterback, especially good fantasy quarterback. He can facilitate good numbers for receivers. But Russell Gage, the wide receiver too. Everyone's talking about Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts in that offense. Russell Gage, receiver, kind of more of a possession guy. You're getting him late in drafts. Good wide receiver depth value, kind of like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Love Russell Gage. Number 4, Kyler Murray finishes as QB2. Again, guys, I wouldn't draft a quarterback early, so I'm not going to be drafting Kyler Murray because he normally goes pretty early. But just his running ability is so crazy. People really don't understand the rushing yards that Kyler Murray gets. He's actually, I believe he was a better runner than Lamar Jackson was last year. I think he finishes as the number 2 overall quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. Personally, he has the upside to be the QB1 just based off his rushing ability and in that Cliff Kingsbury offense. I love Kyler Murray. If you do decide to draft a quarterback earlier, or maybe you are in a 2-quarterback league and you need to invest, get that QB1, Kyler Murray is going to be a beast this year. Number 3, Chase Edmonds is a league winner. I don't understand why people aren't drafting Chase Edmonds earlier. I understand James Conner is there, but guys, here's a PSA to you. James Conner's not good. He's just simply not good. And I know he's going to steal some carries early in the season from Chase Edmonds, but Chase Edmonds, great out of the backfield, really good pass catcher. That's an offense that's going to score a lot of points. Chase Edmonds offers really high RB2 upside. You're getting him maybe in the 5th or 6th round. Maybe you're doing the zero RB strategy. You're stacking receivers. Maybe you get back end of the 1st round, Tyreek Hill, start of the 2nd round, DK Metcalf. You need running backs. Chase Edmonds is a really good asset to have. Number 2, A.J. Dillon is the best handcuff, becomes startable. Yes, A.J. Dillon is a beast. I know they have Aaron Jones. With handcuffs, it's tough. You're almost hoping for an injury, but even without an injury, we know Jamal Williams played a decent amount in that kind of role that A.J. Dillon is taking over. If there is an injury in that Packers offense, A.J. Dillon's upside is an RB1. So if you are looking for a handcuff, A.J. Dillon, man, I think he's going to be really good. Even if you don't have Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon could be a really good asset to have because he's going to be playing. I understand he's probably not startable if Aaron Jones is starting, but he will be playing, and then maybe an injury happens. I don't know. He would be RB1 upside. Number 1, DJ Moore outscores Calvin Ridley, and this is really nothing against Calvin Ridley. I just love DJ Moore this year. I love his value in the 4th or 5th round. Phenomenal value. DJ Moore, he's looked good in the preseason. He's a guy that he's a possession receiver, but he can also go deep. You're looking at 8 to 10 touchdowns from DJ Moore this year. I'm looking at 1,400 receiving yards. I think he's going to be a very, very elite option you can get in the 4th or 5th round. I mean, you could go running back rounds 1, rounds 2, even a running back round 3 and have DJ Moore as your wide receiver number 1. That would be fine. I think DJ Moore is an absolute steal. Nothing against Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley may be a little bit of a down year, but I don't think Calvin Ridley is going to be a bust by any means. Calvin Ridley is going to be really good. This is just more so how good DJ Moore is going to be, guys. Those are my top 26 fantasy football predictions for this upcoming 2021 year. It's going to be phenomenal, guys. I wish everyone luck. Again, guys, if you are interested, I'm looking to get together possibly a 2-quarterback league. Again, the roster would just be 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a flex, tight end, defense, kicker, so completely standard. Just add on 1 more quarterback that you have to start. Really emphasizes the quarterback. The 2 QB leagues are the future of fantasy football. Puts more of an emphasis on the quarterback position. Makes it a little bit more realistic, because right now, I would say if you're playing in a 1-quarterback league, there's no reason to draft a quarterback before round 6 or round 7, unless it's only a 10-team league. Then you're afforded the ability to kind of use that draft a quarterback earlier. But if you're in a 12 or 14 team league, you need to make sure you get those running back and receivers, maybe even a tight end like a George Kittle early in the draft, guys. Tight ends, remember, Dallas Goedert, love him, absolutely love him. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.